in Hollywood that are fairly renowned coaching, like Halle Berry and some of those people, and Ivana Chubbuck is one name, Dee Wallace Stone, the mother in Cujo and E.T., stuff like that. All reality-based. So for them, it's substitution. It's not recalling from the past, which is affective memory. It is substituting somebody from the present. So there's, if we remember up here is Stanislavski, and his analysis has, for most people's opinion, his fundamental analysis is unparalleled. And Stella was probably the greatest utilizer of this in the United States by most people's judgments there. And Michael Chekhov felt that this was fabulous. This is really fabulous. The gap comes over here when you've got analysis and you've got some people that we need, and this is where Chekhov comes in, analysis must get to synthesis. And if it doesn't get to synthesis, you get what I think I saw a lot of yesterday in judging the Irene Ryans, is a distinct lack of clarity in the objective. That's here. And for a few people who actually had clarity of objective, failed to achieve synthesizing what they had analyzed into the work. This is where the genius of Michael Chekhov really lies. Whether you are working out of observation, whether you are working out of memory, imagination, or substitution of present needs, and I'll go back to substitution of present needs here. So let's say that the character desperately needs the approval of another character. Let's say we're working together. My character needs your approval there. The technique would be that I would imagine someone today in my life right now. This is to give that moment-to-moment feeling. Someone from whom I need approval right now in my life. And I would substitute in my imagination, again, I am using my imagination, to work with you. And I'm in the moment. I track what I call my win-loss process. And this is one of the parts that falls apart from analysis when we get to synthesis. It's winning and losing there. When am I getting what I want and when am I not? And how am I coping? Changing my actions, changing my tactics, all those things. So in this situation here is I'm in the scene and I'm picturing in this person from my real life, let's say it's my stepdaughter, okay? And I really need my stepdaughter's approval. And if I don't get it, I never get to see my grandchildren, so I kind of build up all these stakes from my real life there. And I work in this scene, and I respond the way Lisa Dalton would respond if her stepdaughter Melissa rejected her. Okay? Now, there's a couple of problems because today, many people are understanding that this love option is available and that the personality that formulated in you and was pretty much 95% completely formed by the age of 5 can be altered today without going through life, deep, painful, physiological, and emotionally destroying life-changing circumstances. Okay. We can now do rapid neurological repatterning, rapid changes in the body that can help you change how you're operating on an everyday basis. What does this mean? We're getting healthier. We're getting able to communicate better as a species. We are achieving that, which means that if I become a healthier human being, I have fewer and fewer. I don't need my stepdaughter's approval. Okay? Which means I can't act the scene. I can't be an actor. Right? So as a human being, as we seek a process of balance, and if we continue to rely on techniques that would suggest to us that we must be imbalanced, because if I've dealt with my memories and they don't produce pain in me, I can't be an actor. And believe it or not, I know you may find this terribly hard to believe, but there are some actors who actually, on some conscious or unconscious level, make sure their lives are squalid so that they have fodder for acting. But let's ask ourselves this. If you guys were all 2 years old, and you were to, you can stand up or you can sit down, if you were to be a 2-year-old who is in a high state of fear, okay, what would you be doing? Go ahead, go for it. Well, be quiet for 2-year-olds. Okay. And if you were 2-year-olds and you were in a high state of love, what would you be doing? Yeah. Okay. So, now, if you want to achieve a peak performance, from which position do you think you would be more likely to spring forward into a peak from? Love. Oh, love. How about that? And I highly have to recommend Michael Chekhov's audio series where he himself is talking about the art of love and how to use it as a springboard, as a fuel. Out of the Meisner work, the way most of the Meisner work is done, it's out of I, myself. Okay? Most of the effective memory is done out of I, myself. There. Whereas in the observational things, then it's observing what exists in reality and imitating. That imitation is the first primal way of learning. We imitate, say mama, dada, no, mama. So through imitation, we learn. And by the way, that's a perfectly wonderful way of learning. One of Chekhov's exercises is to go into your imagination and imagine some actor that you really enjoy playing the role that you're about to play. And then imitate that, in effect. Okay? So, where much of the teaching falls apart is it doesn't define the distinction between the I of the character and the I of the artist. Okay, so, the human being uses about 5% of their potential. And if we said that this was the whole sum total of the potential, we would be saying that they're using just this little portion on an everyday basis. Einstein thought he was using about 8%. Okay? So what is this other 95%? This is the realm of the collective unconscious, right? The human unified energy field, all that is the realm of archetype and imagination, your superconscious and your subconscious, and your connection to everything. And yet all we utilize on a daily basis is about 5%. And what 5% of this sum total we use that's the part that's pretty much 95% chosen by the age of 5 years old. After that, by the age of 8, it's virtually 100% except for those life-changing moments that I mentioned. Now, what happens is the physiology grows to fit the psychology. So if you know a set of twins, the more they mature, the more distinct their biology becomes. Understand that if in this age at 3 years old, I start seeing that shyness is a much better deal than aggression, my biology begins to accept that energy form in it. Now, when I'm 13, it's a real big issue for me. Excuse me, don't want to have those. They're there, what are they doing there? Or they're not there, why aren't they there? You know, it's a lost situation here, and I want to hide those. And by the time I'm 70, because this biological imprint will increase with age, I am now here. Now, but let's go back to when I'm 18 and I have a chance to play Joan of Arc. And I can see Joan in my imagination. I can see her power. I can see that. And I go to do it, and it's just, it's what I call a disclick. That ever happened where you can see it, smell it, taste it, feel it, and you go to do it, it's like, ah. And to me, it's like my art. I knew what I wanted to do. It's like locked in here. I want to unprison it. You know, I want to release that gate and let it fly free, and my body just does not recognize this energy. It's like trying to get off the freeway where there's no exit. And there is no exit because most people don't go there, because I don't drive over there. So why would I make an exit over there? So here I am on the freeway, I'm looking over, I'm seeing hot homemade apple pie, and there's no exit, and I crash into the wall trying to get it. Or I get off at the next exit, and I drive around. I got a car full of friends who didn't see the sign, but I offered them hot apple pie. So I see some golden arches, and I buy them hot apple turnovers, and they're happy. But not me. I'm not happy. I'm in pain. Because my biology doesn't recognize how to house that energy. So the first and most foremost fundamental principle of getting from analysis to synthesis is training a psychophysically sensitive body. A body that is somehow able to alter itself on the subtlest levels and be able to match what comes into the imagination. Let's try one of the most fundamental exercises. Come on up. As you spread that body out, just check in to see and notice, gosh, when I'm in this condition, what is it that I feel? And you can have your eyes open for a moment. You can have your eyes closed for a moment. See if there's a difference with the eyes open and closed. What do I feel? What do I think? What comes into my imagination when I'm in this position? When you feel or sense or think you know what that means to you, then come down to the ground. Come on down to the ground. Make yourself as small, hard, and tight as you possibly can. Pull everything in, squeeze it, fist it, in tight, hard. And notice. This awaken within me. And when you have a sense of how you feel, what images come in, go ahead and make yourself comfy. Any responses to any position? Yes?
This one I feel like it was free fall.
Felt like you were free falling. Was that a good thing?
Yeah, it wasn't scary.
Good.
I felt like I was going up, like I was reaching toward the sun. Everything's expanding out.
And was that a good thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Felt very open, but it also felt very vulnerable.
Great. Was that a good thing?
Could be.
One. See where I'm going? If we call this expanded and this contracted, this is 0, this is 10. You, as an artist, develop the ability to go up and down this scale like a musician plays the scale. Play your body like a scale. And develop the ability to be absolutely neutral in the process, so that this process doesn't awaken any personal fear in you, but you can put character's fear anywhere on that scale, so that my character may feel very unsafe in this position and may feel very powerful in this position. I may feel very vulnerable, crucifiable in this position. And there's no rights and no wrongs. This, in effect, this is the most basic pattern that all energy is moving in. All energy is moving. True? Mm-hmm. All stuff is energy. True? So, every human being, every solid particle of matter, or apparently solid particle of matter, is actually in motion, isn't it? What is the motion? The motion is either contracting or expanding. The actor learns how to go up and down this scale, knocking down the walls of their freeway system. See, by training their body, by repeatedly doing this exercise with different images. We did this just mechanically, and look at all the stuff you got out of it. That's a purely mechanical move. Mechanical movement is a big, let's not do that in the Chekhov technique. What I did want you to experience is that just